Hello everybody. Second game for today, but really just the first proper one. It's Echo on week 3, year 23. Echo being the phonetic for E being the 5th letter of the alphabet. The 5th game of week 3, year 2023 here on the Games with Brains channel. It's a 4v4 on adaptive Mangala Fossa map. Average rated is 1330, or rather 1330. So how many mistakes can I get away with in the first 2 minutes? Well, there's one. This one, as we said, going out today, as well as me recording today. That's the 20th of January 2023. So if you're here with me today, hello to you. And if you're here with me from the future, watching something that someone here made in the past, well, hello to you as well. Jumping on over then, and I tried to do something a little different, and let's see if I can make it work. There we go. So the Forged Alliance logo there, and let's get rid of the game title thus, and let's go bringing us on in and see if that works. I'll get rid of the title, the game info as well. Ta-da, there we go. Faff with the little logo there, and yeah, of course we'll make that go away. All right. At some point, I'll integrate that more smoothly, but it's a start, right? It's a start. And so let's go say hello to our players. We'll slow down real quick, and we can tell first glance this is... Let's do away with the music. This is one of the AI balanced ones, and we know, again, at least I do, because it's all blues and reds on either team. So coming over to Team 1 first of all, which we'll call the blue team or the cool team. Starting first of all on the 12 o'clock position, Seraphim here. It's Nequilik or Nequilik. Yeah, Nequilik. Seraphim. This guy been around a very long time. Recognize his name since almost forever. 1375 rated. He's going Seraphim there. Beg your pardon. 1668. I do beg your pardon, Nequilik there. 1668 rated. Immediately to his south here in the teal, it's Alex S. He's going Aeon. He's going first land as well. This guy clocking in around 1070 rated. Used to have one of those graphics cards way back in the day. And then I got a VR headset when they first came out and realized I needed the 1080. And even then it kind of struggled. And anyway, back to the game at hand. Over to his 7 o'clock position. Finally, here's Battle Moose. This guy's been around since forever as well. He starting there first land. He's UEF. This guy is rated 1375. So we'll have to see quite a spread so far on the players here for Team 1. From 1668 to 1070. You know, that's a broad spectrum there. 600 rating points. We'll have to see. And then finally here, what I guess is the air position, if we want to call it that, for Team 1. It's Toten M or Torten M. I guess depends if he's German or not. He's UEF. Also going first land, and looks like bringing his ACU out, having got land, 4 mechs. Going for the Hydro. Map does seem, you know, we see a lot of maps that have a shed load of mass, but this, for a 4v4, it's a 10v10 map. There are not that many mass spots, and so that means we're probably less likely to see a rush to the experimental phase, and more likely, at least in theory, especially with it being a 10x10 map, to see a bit more action earlier on. We'll have to see if that pans out. Okay, coming over now to Team 2, the fiery colour. Starting, let's start what would be air position here, just to mix things up a bit. It's what's that? Krillito? Cyrito? I do beg your pardon. It's these weird names and the tiny screen. I need to get myself some glasses. 1292 rated on the Cybran, going first land. And yeah, unusual here. Look how many P-gens he's going. And he's not yet capped off the 2 mechs that's right next to his commander. Is he able to afford that without stalling? Well, there's the answer. He's stalling good and proper. I'm surprised to see a player of 1292 stalling so heavily on mass. with this very bizarre build. Looks like he's desperately trying to rush power. I imagine he's looking to either rush air or rush some sort of commander upgrade. We'll have to see. Let's carry on introducing our players. So over to his west side, on the very south of the map, it's Electrician, rated 1540, UEF going first land. And yeah, this guy, also one of the OGs on SupCom FA, was certainly playing on the days that I used to play, and I've enjoyed many a game with him back then. Nice to see him still around. To his north then, moving around in a clockwise fashion, it's Does Nuts. He's 1138, Cybran going first land and sending his ACU up forward, having done that. All pretty typical builds here. Disnuts, I think a little cheeky grabbing the hydro. I don't know, it just feels like he's got quite a lot of stuff here. Electrician, perhaps not. Well, I guess you could say it's 50-50. And then last but not least, it's Icy Tis 1324, also going UEF, and we can see he's gone first land, second land, going third land as well. Looks like Icy Tis has certainly played front before, going very heavy land, very fast, and certainly favouring the additional factories before advancing. Has he stalled an eco yet? Well, far from it. And that would explain why his ACU is still in base and not being thrown forward. All right, let's bring back speed to normal time. We do have a few Civ structures dotted around, and once again, frustratingly, almost the identical colour as Icy Tis. And so, yeah, you can rest assured that somebody like me is going to think, oh yeah, Icy Tis got a silly random little base here. And then, oh no, it doesn't belong to Icy Tis at all. Yeah, so expect some of that, but with a bit of luck, both of these teams will be wiping out the forward base before too long. Looks like all that we have there is some AAA already with a kill. We've got a Tech 1 point defense here, also belonging to the AI, and that is defending what looks like quite a sizable mass field here, although we see Does Nuts cheekily moving in with an engineer. In fact, if some player wants to be real cheeky, he could do a factory attack move with one of his engies, plant it about here, and then the engineer would have access to a massive reclaim field without having to take on the point defense, at least not initially. We'll have to see if somebody does think of that. Well, it seems at least not yet, just the standard attack moves. Looks like Alex S there, one of the first commanders to get to the middle, starts placing down mass point. Land factory, of course. Very important to have land factories up front, not just for the reinforcements. They absorb hit points if you're under attack, and of course are able to spit out engineers to get on the reclaim once the battles start taking place. So it's really a 3-for-1, putting land factories on the front line, and should never be ignored. Tech 1 bomber here from Nequilch. So far with 3 kills. Is he going to get another one there? No, I was almost sure he was going to let a bomb go on this NG, and this one looks like it is now under being escorted. Does it get picked off by the AI? Well, Electrician's looking to take out the area. Is it going to get too close to the AIs? And he does. Bomber goes down there to the AI. Little drop down here from, I'm just going to call him Kryto. And yeah, so sod the mechs. I mean, there is one. It's not entirely worthless. But looks like, certainly for this stage of the game, if we take a look, there's at least 1200 mass in that little crater that he's got access to. And it's going to take a Tech 1 mass extractor about 600 seconds to pay for that 1200 mass. So certainly at this stage of the game, the mass reclaim, which is of course free to do, doesn't cost energy to reclaim mass, unlike it does cost energy to run a mass extractor, although at Tech 1 that's almost negligible. But the point being, it's a quick way to get lots of mass without expending energy on the reclaim. We're starting to get some sort of stabilised fronts. We've got a little run by here from Icy Tis, but it's again a run by for very little. Gonna run into superior forces. Air Force here on the case from Nequilch, and yeah, I like what I'm seeing here, though, from Icy Tits. Rather than just chuck these units away in an engagement that he clearly can't win, he's actually pulling them back. And that may make sense and seem obvious, but I've seen so many players that if they try a run by and they're outnumbered, they just think, oh, sod it, and they just chuck them away, even though it is just 3, 4, or in this case, 6 or 7 units. But it's nice to see a player think of that. I mean, if nothing else, right, you're preventing your enemy to have a little bit of a reclaim field, and you lose that many units to a battle, and your enemy is going to lose, well, at least 3 or 4 if they outnumber you. That's going to be several hundred mass on the field that now isn't because you pulled them back. Don't forget, you can't win anyway, so there's no point pushing it. And so, yeah, Icy Tis, 1324 rated. Really like what you did there. Couple of players here on the blue team getting the gun. We've got Battle Moose as well as Alex there. And Battle Moose 90, 80 some now, 90%, and that is going to leave Electrician in a spot of bother. Granted, the numbers are somewhat even Stevens with the land, but when your opponent's got gun and you haven't, at close quarter combat, time to run. Of course, if the ACU starts trailing in such a manner that he can shoot at you but you can't shoot at him, well, that's almost even worse. At that point, there's probably no point running, but problem is, if Electrician stays in the area, he's dead. Of course, if an ACU does ever chase you down and you have to run, the only thing that you can do is try and select individual units and try and block him. Of course, you can also try and quickly turn around and put a factory down, but often that doesn't work. Looks like Kryto and his bombers picking up a few kills down here. I guess somebody tried to drop in on Kryto's little crater and alas was not successful. And if Alex's gun, that looks like he's about finished, there we go, gun speed done. If Alex and Aquilic here join forces, 2 ACUs with the gun on the 8th minute, pushing down Electrician, 1 ACU who has not got the gun. And what's the Electrician doing here? I guess he thinks, yeah, I don't have the numbers, but I don't have the gun, but I do have the numbers. And it looks like Battle Moose thinks, yeah, I think you do. I'm going to back off. We see Battle Moose chucking his units forward while retreating with his commander. That's always a sort of a panic sign, but looks like now Battle Moose, realizing he doesn't have to panic, he brings his units back, sends the ACU forward again, is now getting picked on by a bunch of Tech 1 bombers from Kryto, so that's nice to see. Kryto there helping his pal out. Those bombers are now going to go down, though, to Battle Moose's own interceptors. So they, most of them got 1 run. I think a couple of them got a couple of passes, but yeah. Battle Moose looking very healthy, at least 75-80%. Looks like we're getting gun over here for D's Nuts. We've not seen too much from him yet, and here's why. Looks like he's rushed Tech 2. He's already got the mobile missile launcher, lobbing in missiles at range. And I really like that because A, that's going to shut this position down at the very least, put this position under pressure. We do see that there's a Tech 2 gun there from Aquilic, but, you know, having mobile missiles rain down is going to force him either to build tactical missile defense or to continuously try to attack. The problem is D's Nuts now with the 2nd missile launcher, and he also has a Tech 2 PD of his own. And that, with his ACU, looks like he's just about able to hold this position. And these mobile missiles are going to force Aquilic there off the front line. Aquilic going back, leaving D's Nuts with his commander, taking down the Seraphim Tech 2 PD. Nice to see. Meanwhile, down on the south side, Battle Moose is very, very aggressive, and it looks like this is really good here because we see Electrician pulling units back all around. If Battle Moose comes through, he's only got 1 direction to go out of or to bring reinforcements in. Electrician had 2 flanks here, so 2v1. Even if numbers are the same, it's going to give you quicker access to reinforcements and or retreat. Battle Moose potentially in a spot of bother. Electrician surrounding him there. I'm not sure Electrician was able to get the gun, but it doesn't look like it's going to matter. He's got his opponent completely surrounded. Battle Moose with gun. How's he doing with regards to Vet? Well, he's a ways off. Kaboom. Well done there, Electrician. Kills off his opponent with the superior commander on the 11th minute. Battle Moose going down. A little ambitious there. I think pushing so far into your enemy's base with, you know, when you're starting to get through these narrow passes. I mean, yeah, not only does your opponent have 2 passes, but they're also much wider than this narrow access. And I really like how Electrician, he split some forces here, he had some forces here. He waited for his opponent to push through, and then he just swarmed him. And despite the inferior commander without the gun, he was able to get the win. He's now continuing to press, trying to exploit that moment of confusion that Alex will have. You've suddenly inherited your opponent's bases and forward line. It's going to take you a while to see what have you got, where have you got it. Let's get the idle factories going. Of course, you're still doing what you're trying to do as well. And yeah, Electrician, despite not having that many units, is desperate to try and exploit that confusion, and looks like he did relatively well. Although the time for that has now passed. Alex S, I beg your pardon, moving units in. We also see Totem here, not seen too much from him yet, with a bunch of fighter bombers patrolling in the area. Janus, no less. There's at least 6 of them there that are getting into position. Potentially more going to be created all the time. And he could look to bring those to bear, because there's nuts here with the Tech 2, with a Rhino/mobile missile combo here, is just running rings around Naquilch. Naquilch in a spot of bother here. I don't understand why Totem's not helping him out. Looks like we've got little, if any, flak here whatsoever. Totem, you need to give your pal an assist here. Got Icy Tis that's hanging around in reserve, potentially looking to reinforce this attack by these nuts, but this is such a deadly advance, again without a single AAA unit in sight. I do not understand why Totem isn't moving in, or at the very least Naquilich isn't asking for help. ACU now with the gun, Seraphim no less, and we see Disnuts desperately trying to hang on to as many of these as we can. Nice little OC there on the end, picking up 2 more rhinos as they escape once again down this little passageway. And yeah, it looks like other than the commander, Naquilch, extremely light on units. Now getting picked off from Icy Tis on his eastern flank, and yeah, so far, Team 2 looking quite strong, having capitalized there in the northeast, as well as most of the southwest. We do got a couple of units and structures here from Team 1, but very limited. 1 factory, 1 mechs, 1 radar, and an NG on reclaim. Certainly wouldn't take much from Team 2 to finish that off. Here we see Totem moving in with his Janus. Very unlucky. Is he able to get another pass? It's like 3/4 done on the ion reactor. The shield goes down. Doesn't manage it. Well, that is unfortunate for Totem, because he was it's like he was saving up those fighter bombers to, you know, with some sort of intent, and I'm sure his intent was more than just take a shield down for a few moments from his opposing team. Scores 4 versus 3 in favor of Team 2. Battle Moose going down for Team 1 there, the 1375 rate. It does leave Team 2 with the strongest player, Naquilich, as well as player 3 and 4. Taking a look now at the mass incomes. 293 to Team 2 versus 237 for Team 1. So at least on the face of it, there's a benefit to Team 2 having all 4 players economically. And Quilich continuing to press with his ACU. Don't forget, this is the strongest player that Team 1 have. And while, yeah, very nice with the gun, but otherwise looking very isolated. Now, what's this coming in? Was this artillery or just a stray missile? It's a stray missile from y.23. And so, yeah, Quilich playing loose and fast with his ACU with no support. What have we here? Oh, we got some Ilshis there now for Quilich. So nicely. I just thought with so few units, is he skipping right over to Tech 3? But alas not. Huge scout patrol there from y.23 here on minute 17. And let's see, what can he see with those? Well, there's your answer. And massive attack. And there we do have Tech 3, but it's from Team 2. So Quilich in a spot of bother, not for the first time. And I'm just thinking, is he seriously trying to play this game with nothing more than the commander? Surely something else must be on the cards. We've got a ghetto gunship here, tiny one. Is this some sort of sick joke? And Quilich just eating shed loads of mobile missile launchers. I don't understand what's going on here. The GG finally does go down. But with these bots from y.23 operating in the rear of Quilich, he's got to be so careful. I mean, he could get pincered between the armies. And it looks like he's thinking maybe the same. Quilich on full retreat with his ACU. The problem is he just retreating into an army that's already cut him off? We'll have to see. See, he's desperately trying to micro. We do got some Tech 1 bombers as well from Kryto moving in. I guess they're just here to shave off some hit points. Team 1 looking much better on the southwestern region, but perhaps need to help out their strongest player here. Is he able to overcharge these bots? Can he one-shot them? Well, he gets one Tech 3 bot, he gets the second, he gets a third, the fourth one's almost dead, there it goes down. And if he overcharges this one, which he does, that's the vast majority of y.23's strong part of his army anyway, that the higher tech's down. There goes a bot, and I don't believe it. I think Quilich is going to get away with this. Beg your pardon there, missing something. Electrician going down. Apologies for missing that, but based on these units here, it does seem like Alex S able to push into Electrician there. That bringing it to 3 versus 3 on the 19th minute. I'm still going to focus in on Quilich here, who does look like he's finally able to kill this advancing enemy army. Just a handful of units getting into the base, and he is now Tech 3 himself with an awesome siege tank that's going to pick off what little did get through. That's going to leave a shed load of reclaim there for Quilich on inside 20 minutes. We can see there thousands and thousands of mass. We do see y.23 racing in with some engineers, trying to get what he can, but that, alas, is going to go down to these gunships. And it looks like the gunships are moving on, looking to see what they can get. Alex S, meanwhile, taking the leaf out of Battle Moose's book, and that was that I'm going to exploit the confusion while it's there and try and press through with what few units I've got. The problem for him is D's Nuts has a bunch of loyalists on the front line, and with the few units that Alex S had trying to exploit that confusion, most of which at the Tech 1 stage, that is not going to be successful. And Alex, despite just being rated 1070, the lowest rated player in the game, certainly not playing like the lowest rated player, recognizing the threat, pulls back as well. Tech 3 air now, and looks like this is going to go teams 2 way. Kryto certainly looks like he's got the numbers. We'll have to see what we got there. I don't know. Some of those are just Tech 1 interceptors. And so take that back. Kryto with just 3 ASF pulls them back. versus Totem. What have you got? Totem's 11. So Team 1 without superiority, at least for now. And on the map, looks like a bang on 50-50. Can I draw? I can draw. I guess I need to zoom in to make the draw seem more clear. Zoomed out, it's almost invisible. An experimental here from y.23 moving up front. It's a Monkey Lord with its massive laser. Does look really, really cool, does that. Cool unit. I realise it's the cheapest, some say the shittest, but tell you what, because it's stealth, it ain't, I don't think it is the shittest. I mean, what is the shittest experimental? I don't know, but I just don't want to call it the Monkey Lord. Granted, it's Cybran, and you know, I was never of a pal with the Cybrans, but that said, actually, I quite like him. The only race I didn't like to play was Aeon, and I know I'm not alone in that, but I know there's some people that love him. Especially, you know, since I feel like the SupCom got a bit of a buff with Aeon in the last couple of years. The only real reason to play Aeon back in the day was the extra range of the Auroras at the Tech 1, and if you were really good and you had APM to spare to micro, you could really make that range work for you. But, you know, you were talking the very top tier. That doesn't seem to be the case anymore. You know, you don't have to be the best to make them work for you, is what I'm trying to say. So I do feel that was perhaps balanced a little bit. Totem, meanwhile, looking to pick off some of the extremities there of Team 2 and able to push him out of the north-east corner. South-west corner, same happening for Team 2, kicking Team 1 out. So we'll have to keep an eye out on D's Nuts here with his Monkey Lord and his fiery laser moving in. He does have a few units in tow, including a couple of bricks, missile launchers, but really it's the anti-A he's going to need, and he's going to need more than just a couple of Tech 1 AAA. Does Team 1 even know that it's coming? Well, if they didn't before, they do now. Pings going down there. That's no doubt from Team 2 to say, hey, get back there. There's a shield with a half-finished Ythota underneath. And at this point, I feel that all the stops need to be pulled out. Why? Okay, finally, the gunship's now moving in. I felt those gunships should have moved in before. Perhaps Nikolic, you know, expecting his team to have already been on the case. Monkey Lord goes down to an overcharge from Nikolic there. Gets Nikolic the 4-star. Threat not entirely over. We've got at least 2 or 3 bricks, but they're not going to last long. And the immediate threat over. That went extremely well for Nikolic based on... I thought those Tech 2 gunships just parked there that could have been brought to bear at least 20 or 30 seconds earlier. And when the Monkey Lord was here on full health and it was like, hey, you've got a half-finished Ythota under that shield, I thought for sure that was going to go down, and seemed to almost not go down at all. We do have a few Percys now, and although there's quite a few of them, because they're not together with the Monkey Lord and they're getting picked on from all sides, I'm not entirely sure how much they're going to get done. We'll have to have a look. Totem's really going at them with T1 bombers, and although it's going to take forever to tickle them to death, it looks like they may have forever. Do got a couple of harms moving in, but it's going to take more than a couple of harms, and at this point the T1 bombers may begin some friendly fire. Harbs moving in now. That is going to shut that run by off. Team 2 looking incredibly strong all the way up the eastern flank. And I've also got most of the southern flank secure. And Team 1, meanwhile, the blue team, looks like they're being relegated to less than 50% of the map. I'd go so far, it's not quite 25, thanks to Alex here pushing down below the 50% point, but let's say it's about a third. We've got a shed load of T1 bombers, and yeah, Tech 1 AAA from D's Nuts been trickled in, no doubt as a reflex response to the units going down to the air there. But at this point, they're probably handing more vet to their opponent than helping. For the first time in a little while, it seems that we've got a slight pause in action. Nice scout run now from Kryto coming over. What does that let his team see? Well, there's your answer. Almost everything. If he can bring these scouts down south, they literally will have seen everything. I don't understand why he didn't give them another order over here, but I guess he thought he was lucky just to get them up there in the first place. Well, he did. And Steez Nuts with the order seems to continue to send his units out front. We'll have to see how, if he even realizes that. Yeah, by the way, guys, do leave us a like if you're enjoying the video. And if you're not enjoying the video, well, you probably just sat there laughing, thinking, I can't believe how stupid this guy is. He keeps tripping over his words. It surprised me. It surprised me. I know I said it before, but I listened back to that video. There's like so many mistakes in the first. You know, I was like mixing up Team 1 and Team 2. I'd say Tech 2 artillery when there's no such. It was bizarre. Probably made a load more today, but you try talking in a mic. Certainly if you're not used to it, just try talking into a mic and what may seem really obvious, and then listen back and you'll see. You say the odd thing wrong that you didn't realise. I'm sure with practice it'll get better, and again, you know, I'm relatively new to this. Finally now we see the chicken butt out. Wow, that is a red sky. What have we here? Yet another monkey lord out from D's Nuts. I'll have to say, does he just send that one in, or is he going to try and or either use it as defense, or at least send some units with it? I feel that Team 2, I don't know actually, I was going to say that they're behind on air, but that doesn't seem to be quite as blatant as before. We've got 74 ASF there versus 56, so actually a slight advantage now for Team 2. We'll have to see who uses the air. We got an arse washer coming out here from Niquilich, and not only that, it's about 80% complete. We see the pings going down. We see Ravager fire here from Icitis. I'm surprised Kryto isn't getting his ASF up and just starting to move him around into position. Clearly the ASF engage matters, and you know, Kryto versus Totem there, neither is to know, I guess, exactly what numbers are, but I'm guessing at first glance it looks fairly 50-50. We'll have, you know, depending on when each of them last got intel. But this arse washer's got to be a concern at 95%. I'm sure if Kryto wanted to, he could one-shot that arse washer, but it would be in exchange for losing the air battle with Totem. And so, is it worth chucking away air dominance to kill one Arswasher? Well, it depends, I think. And at this point, maybe it's worth trying to win air first, allow the Arswasher to get a couple of passes for free, and then go for it. We'll have to find out. It's coming on the Quilich with a chicken butt up front, Arswasher in the rear. You never want an Arswasher in the rear. Monkey Lord coming up against the chicken butt. We'll have to keep an eye out here. Arswasher is moving in now from the western flank. Bomb is off. Bang. Bomb plus the Ion Storm there from the chicken doesn't leave much left in that area. D's Nuts wisely splitting his units off. Does manage to get more away than I thought. Arswasher now picking off all but one unit that managed to get away there on the run by. There was at least 10 loyalists there that managed to escape the first bomb as well as the Ion Storm. Were probably busy writing home saying, "Mum, I managed to get away from that horrible attack." And before they managed to slap a stamp on that envelope, Arswasher bomb number 2 hits them square in the face. There's one guy there left alive. Oh, how many Percys does it kill him? It does. Oh, that was sick. That was a huge quantity of units that just went down for free versus that Arswasher. And Totem there making a fantastic job with his screening. At this point, Kryto, come on, what you doing, pal? Your team have just lost 2 very strong armies. There's a third one about to go down. Bang! Oh, Kryto, man. I think your team's just lost like 90% of their divisions that they had not 2 minutes ago due to that Arswasher. Yes, about time you had this engage. And looks like now Team 2 are trying to primary the Arswasher. That could have been done a little while ago. They do manage to shoot it down. Does leave the wreck over on Team 1's base, so they're going to be able to reclaim that and get another one out quicker. And, you know, they paid for it. They almost lost air dominance, did Team 2, in trying to pursue that Arswasher. I just feel that they should have done that as soon as they saw the Arswasher, or at the very latest after it dropped its first bomb. I mean, why let the Arswasher drop 3 or 4 bombs completely unopposed and then go for it? I mean, it makes no sense. And looks like, thanks to that Arswasher, Team 1 have been able to claw back just a little bit more. Doesn't feel like they're quite as boxed in as they were, in no small part thanks to the wiping out of this large army down here and another large army over here belonging to Team 2. So Team 2 working quite fast on replenishing those armed forces. We've got another Monkey Lord over here. Got a brick wall moving over to the southwest, looking to plug the gap that was left after that Arswasher dropped its bomb. And what we got here, about 7 Percys from Alex, but it looks like, you know, they're not there to be aggressive. They're just there to plug a gap. I really like Team 2, the amount of intel that they get. And every time I look up, there seems to be scouts coming over Team 1's base, having a gander at what's going on. I was always somebody in that didn't like to build nuke defense. To me, it was much cheaper to have a scout going over. And yeah, if you saw the enemy obviously working on a nuke, you know, it's either get a nuke defense or take out the nuke. But to build, certainly on a map like this, it's a 10 by 10. To dump, I don't know what resources into building a nuke defense when your opponent ain't even going nuke, potentially can lose you the game. The amount of resources you spend on that nuke defense, you know, and your opponent puts it into, I don't know how many purses or what you can build that with the cost of a nuke defense plus the missiles, but quite a few. And finally, a bit of stability. And again, Team 2, very heavy with the engineers. Very aggressive with engineer reclaim. We can see we got nothing but engineers and a couple of bouncers here. If Team 1 were wise to that, just a solitary brick or a loyalist would clear this entire area off. And as well deny Team 2 all the reclaim that they've been getting. I mean, they've got the reclaim now, but... Chicken taking a shot. Does it connect? It does. Chicken plasma ball takes out Tech 1 NG. Here comes another one. Does it connect with these guys? These are Tech 3 NGs, and it does. Kills a Tech 3 NG that's on reclaim duty. Talk about giving a unit an order that's beneath the station. Start to see some sniper bots here as well from Alex. Starting to pick off at Icy-Tis at range. Icy-Tis wise to the unfolding situation and says, right, well, I best withdraw. Icy-Tis has an experimental. Is it a fatty? No, it's a sap. I wonder what Icy-Tis elects to do with that sap. Here we see it launching. And looks like he's sending it right on over. Where to? Well, there's your answer. Isolated ion reactor that is not defended. Well, that's as good a target as any. I'm surprised that Team 1 haven't made more of a concerted effort to go for this. It feels like Icy-Tis is extremely... Wow. He's had this very forward base for quite a long time. He's certainly set up shop now. He's got Ravengers, drones, SAMs, shields, Tech 3 land factories. Of course, it didn't start like that. Here's the SAT, and it looks like he is going to get that quantum reactor. One more burst should do it for sure. And there it goes. Alex now trying to put more shields down, trying to defend the base. Where you've got more undefended fusion reactors dotted about the T3 powers. Might as well get them. You may be able to shut your team out. Well, I have to see. Just think if Team 1 do manage to get hold of a nuke, I'd like to see it planted here. Team 1 now do look strong on air. 109 ASF. Looks like Totem is the only one going ASF. Team 2 has 96. And there's 2 players, D's Nuts as well, with 27. So, slightly in favour of Team 2. Depends if they work together. If they don't, it's in favour of Team 1. What's this SAT doing now? Well, working on isolated Tech 3 mechs. Takes quite a long time to chew through the hit points. Perhaps better to go for the energy. So much mass laying around to be reclaimed anyway. I don't think that's the best use of a SAT, but what do I know? And is Nikwilic going to try move into this area? Look at all those mobile SAM sites. That is just filling the sky up with electronic plasma-y lead. I was going to say lead, but of course it's not lead. It's like plasma lasers or something. It's not often I see so many Cougars chicken here. Jocelyn, looks like Nikwilic is very aware of this area and doesn't want to bring his bots anywhere near. He is bringing a second one up. We'll have to see. Really nice use of the shields there, throwing the shields forward to preserve Chicken Bot's health for as long as is possible. A shit ton of Tech 1 bombers now coming in from D's Nuts, but Chicken Bot does lose a large chunk of health. Does then gain a vet after taking out the Monkey Lord. The Quilich, not only in addition to the 2 chickens, has got a bunch of Otham siege tanks. And yeah, those 2 chickens plus Othams versus similar numbers in purses, thanks to the chickens, is going to win that fight. We have a nuke out meanwhile. It's from D's Nuts and it's a defensive nuke. And that is one of the best defensive nukes I've seen in a long time. Wipes out at least 50% of the advancing army there from Alex. Clearly, if you'd have had the time again, you'd have nudged it, a few yards west. But yeah, that is probably enough damage dealt to make Alex think, I can't push through. Very, very nice nuke indeed. Huge air engage meanwhile centrally, and again it comes down to the micro, and it looks like now Totem is 3v1 on air. Looks like everybody on team 2 is going ASF, but that's not always a good thing. It depends how well they micro. He's not surely not throwing in the towel. And he is. He throws in the towel and hands off. Nikolic now with the 2 chickens, both badly damaged, advancing forward. Of course, their big advantage being he can just throw them forward even if he don't think he can win. Let the Ion Storm punch through the front. And then, next attack, could go better. We do have a big counter-attack here from y.23, which includes a Megalith. Megalith plus brick, massive amount of damage there. y.23 going down to a strat rush. More strats coming in from Totem. Kryto goes down. Wow. Was not expecting that game to end there. Well, let's have a quick analysis. Yeah, they'd lost air. And again, air was 3v1. You only had the one guy making ASF for the blue team. Everybody down here was making ASF. But it shows, if those guys don't work together on the ASF, one guy playing cohesively is going to outmaneuver 3 guys playing individually when, the numbers don't match. And that enabled those ambassadors to sneak on through, and despite complete lack of stealth, we saw there, beautifully chained in, not all clumped together, but one right after the other. And so as the bombs successively fall down, there's nothing that the ACU can do. And you can see, these guys were not expecting this. I mean, this army was only just sent in literally less than 30-40 seconds ago. Well played, everybody. Game lasting 43 minutes. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, that's it from me. Take care. Bye-bye.